Hi, kindergarten. Miss Troyer and I are so excited to be reading our book, Mummies in the Morning with you. And we hope you're excited too. We've been learning a lot about ancient Egypt. Yesterday, you visualized what was happening. Did you visualize that Jack and Annie were back at the treehouse? They heard some noises, but they didn't see anybody, so they went up anyway. And the book that they found had this wonderful picture on the cover and this green silk bookmark inside. And when Jack and Annie made that wish, what did they hear and see? A black cat. It's so bright now in the treehouse. They're definitely somewhere different. Today we're going to visualize again. The author is going to give us lots of clues to make a little movie inside our mind. So I'm going to use my thinking voice sometimes. I'm going to talk about what's happening in the story. But right now, I'm going to use my reading voice. I'm going to read what the author wrote and read what's in the pictures. Chapter 2 is called, oh man, Mummies. Jack and Annie looked out the window. The treehouse was perched on top of a palm tree. The tree stood with other palm trees, a patch of green surrounded by a sandy desert. I'm going to use my thinking voice for a second. I'm already visualizing things. I'm visualizing a palm tree like you might see on the beach, because the author said, when I was using my reading voice, the author said that the treehouse was in a palm tree, and then it was surrounded by sand. So I'm visualizing some palm trees, but mostly around them, sand. Let's keep reading. I'm going to use my reading voice. Meow. Jack and Annie looked down. The black cat was sitting at the base of the tree. That means the bottom of the tree. His yellow eyes were staring up at Jack and Annie. Hi, Annie shouted. Shh, said Jack. Someone might hear you. In the middle of the desert, said Annie. The black cat stood and began walking around the tree. Come back, Annie called. She leaned out the window to see where the cat was going. Oh, wow, she said. Look, Jack. Jack leaned forward and looked down. The cat was running away from the palm trees toward a giant pyramid in the desert. And here I can use my reading voice to read the picture too. What do you see in this picture? I see that giant pyramid in the desert. I see a palm tree. So if you didn't know what a palm tree looked like, the illustrator is showing us. And I can see Jack and Annie looking out the window of that palm tree. Oh, that helps me visualize a lot. When I see a picture from the illustrator, I can see the same thing in my mind. A parade was going toward the pyramid. The same parade that was in the Egypt book. Read that picture and see. Do you see people? I see something interesting here. And I'm going to use my thinking voice for a second. I wonder what this thing in the middle is. And I wonder if Jack and Annie are going to be able to figure it out. Let's keep reading to find out. It's the picture from the book, said Jack. What are those people doing? Asked Annie. Jack looked down at the Egypt book and he read the words under the picture. When a royal person died, a grand procession took place. Families, servants, and people followed the coffin. The coffin was called a sarcophagus. Oh, readers, can you say that word? Sarcophagus. What a big word, sarcophagus. It was pulled on a sled by 4 oxen. Oh, I'm going to use my thinking voice again. I was wondering before what that special thing in the middle was of this picture that we read. And I think I just got an answer. It's a sarcophagus. And that's where the body of the person would be kept. Let's keep reading. It's an Egyptian funeral, said Jack. The box is called a Oh, forget it. He looked out the window again. Oxen, sled, Egyptians, black cat, all of them were moving in a slow, dreamy way. I better make some notes about this, said Jack. He reached into his backpack and pulled out his notebook. Jack always kept notes. Wait, said Jack, and he wrote, coffin called sarcophagus. Get out your notebook. Get out your pencil and let's write that note. Coffin called sarcophagus. Ooh, what a big word. We'd better hurry, said Annie, if we want to see the mummy. Jack started down the rope ladder. Jack looked up from his notebook. Mummy? He said. There's probably a mummy in that gold box, said Annie. We're in ancient Egypt, remember? Jack loved mummies. He put down his pencil. Goodbye, Jack, called Annie. Wait, Jack called. Mummies, Annie shouted. Oh, man, said Jack weakly. Mummies. She sure knew how to get him. Jack shoved his notebook and the Egypt book into his backpack. Then he started down the ladder. When he got to the ground, he and Annie took off across the sand. But as they ran, a strange thing happened. I'm thinking that if something strange is going to happen, the author is going to describe what it is. So I'm going to visualize in my mind what's happening at this part of the story. Let's make a little movie inside our mind. Back to my reading voice. The closer they got to the parade, the harder it was to see it. Then suddenly, it was gone. The strange parade had disappeared, vanished. Can you imagine that in your head? Can you visualize that? They saw this parade. We read it in this picture. But as they get closer to the parade, it disappears. It's gone. It vanished. Where did all those people go? Let's keep reading to find out. But the great stone pyramid was still there, towering above them. Panting, Jack looked around. What had happened? Where were the people, the oxen, the gold box, the cat? They're gone, said Annie. Where did they go? Said Jack. Maybe they were ghosts, said Annie. Don't be silly. There's no such thing as ghosts, said Jack. It looks like something's there, but it just turns out to be the sunlight reflecting through the heat. It's called a mirage. How could sunlight look like people, a mummy box, and a bunch of cows, said Annie. Jack frowned. Ghosts, she said. No way, said Jack. I'm going to use my thinking voice and think about what's happening right now in the chapter. Annie thinks that what they saw was what? She thinks ghosts. Does Jack believe her? No, he thinks it was a mirage. It's just the sun playing tricks on them, making them see things. What do you think? You can have your own ideas about what's happening too. Let's go back to reading. Look, Annie pointed to the pyramid. Near the base was the sleek black cat. He was standing alone. He was staring at Jack and Annie. He's no mirage, said Annie. The cat started to slink away. He walked along the base of the pyramid and slid around the corner. Where's he going? Said Jack. Let's find out, said Annie. They dashed around the corner just in time to see the cat disappear through a hole in the pyramid. Oh, I love that last part because I can very, very much visualize what's happening. Jack and Annie see the cat, and what does the cat do? The cat goes around the corner and goes through a hole into the pyramid. Okay, let's use our thinking voice and let's make a prediction. Do you think Jack and Annie are going to follow the cat into the pyramid? Or do you think they're going to just stay by the treehouse? Remember, with predictions, sometimes we're right, sometimes we're a little bit right, sometimes we're not quite right. But let's keep reading tomorrow to see what happens next, to see if Jack and Annie follow that cat. There were a lot of great pictures in my mind of the pyramid and that funeral procession and the sarcophagus where there's maybe a mummy inside. That was fun to visualize today. And for my picture, I drew a picture of that black cat next to the pyramid. Oh, and I drew a big hot sun at the top. So when you're doing your writing today, think about what did you see that was important? Are you going to draw what you visualized for that funeral procession, all the people going toward the pyramid with the sarcophagus? Are you going to draw what I drew, which is the cat going into the pyramid? Lots of important things happening in our chapter today, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm hoping that Jack is right and that there are no ghosts, but we know Annie sometimes is very, very much right. Hope you enjoyed the book today, friends, and do a great job with your writing.